First letter I received from the council on the 18th of July 2011 by this person, Paul Fisher, the Senior Applications Officer, and basically he just writes to confirm my current band and my housing application. So it says here your housing application has been moved into band A, and this gives you the best chance of being successful in bidding for suitable permanent accommodation. And these are the details that I'm eligible for a 4-bedroom and I'm in band A. And basically there's a letter dated the same 18th of July by the same person, Paul Fisher, which contradicts all of this in a very surprising way. I'm just going to show that to you now. Now this is the second letter which I received on the 18th of July, same date as the previous letter, by the same person, Paul Fisher, the Senior Applications Officer. And here he says that we do not have any application for housing from you. Now I was completely shocked and surprised to see this letter on the same date and just saying that he doesn't have it, as the previous letter said, which was confirming my housing application and my bedroom eligibility. And this letter completely says we don't have your housing application. Now I have a second proof to show that they do have my housing application, which I'm going to show to you now. Now this is another letter which is dated 2006, and this letter is basically about the new housing application the council came up with, and this just says that they had to re-register us for a new housing application, and they said that we had to re-register you here, the details we had on your old housing application, that they had to re-register us using that old housing application. So as a result of that, they came up with this new eligibility, 4-bedroom and then band C, and this was dated in priority date of 2004. But this letter just shows again that they do have our housing application, and the previous letter just said from Mr. Paul Fisher that we do not have your housing application. Now despite this proof, we went to the council and we mentioned to them, you guys do have your housing application, so why do you need another housing application? So this was a bit of an issue for me, and I thought I'd take this up with the local councillors, because the council just basically said, no, we do need your housing application and we do not have your housing application. So then I took it over to my local councillors, which I'm going to show to you now. So here are the councillors that I spoke to regarding my issue. Firstly, I went to Mr. Andrew Day, and he contacted the council for me, and the council gave him the same response, saying that we still need Mr. Ahmed's housing application, and basically he was left helpless. He couldn't really do much. And then I went over to Mr. Shiraz Mirza. The council gave him the same response. He couldn't do anything either. And then Miss Rachel Reed, she came over to my house, explained the whole story to her, and then she contacted the council as well, and unfortunately the council gave her the same response. And then I went over to Mr. Rawson Davies. I tried to do my best, contact everyone, and he basically advised that I contact the ombudsman, who basically polices the council on how they work. And basically I thought this was a good idea, and I was planning on doing it until I went over to Mr. Edward Davey, our local MP, and basically showed him the proof that I showed you in the previous few letters, what the contradiction is, and what Mr. Paul Fisher was saying on the same date. And basically this is what Mr. Edward Davey had to say to the council. So this was the letter that our local MP wrote to Keith Broxton, the head of housing, at the date of 31st of March 2012. And basically after showing Mr. Edward Davey my papers and the things that council was doing to me, this is what he had to say. He said that he was extremely alarmed and surprised at this case, which in the face of it suggests a history of mistakes and inaccurate communication with my constituents that would pass every test for a serious maladministration case. So he too was very surprised at the way the council was working, and this was the letter he sent to the council, and demanding a review of this case. and within a certain timeline, within a certain deadline. And the council basically responded a bit late to that. And so nor was the MP happy about this, nor was I. This just shows how the council was working. And despite the negative responses from the council, I went to the MP 3 or 4 times more. I kept going to explain that they're doing nothing at all. And then basically Mr. Edward Davey, just said, if you were my brother, if you were my close friend, I would just advise to you that you leave this council and go to a different council, because this council is just not working well. This is what he had to say about the council. Just leave the council. This just shows you how helpless Mr. Edward Davey was at the time. Now the next letter I'm going to show you shows my applicant status, which is basically about bidding for properties in the council that are available on a weekly basis. But this is what the council did to me when I was supposed to bid through my application. I'm going to show that to you now. So this is the application. Basically I looked it up. You can look it up by logging in your history and your applicant status. And I was surprised to see one day that it said I was suspended from bidding. Now this was a bit of a shock to me, and basically you can also see the priority band had also changed to D, and the bedroom size had changed to 3 from 4. Now this was all unexplained, without any letters or anything, and I was just basically I got no response from the council for this either. I tried speaking to them, but they just wouldn't respond to me. And basically after this I spoke to my councillors again, my local councillors, that the council was still demanding that I give them a new housing application, which I had no idea for why they were demanding it. And the local councillors, Mr. Shiraz Mirza and Rachel Reid, advised strongly that I resubmit a housing application, and just for the sake of getting things done and sort the problem out. And I'll just show you my next letter, which is about submitting my housing application. Now this is the letter which I wrote. This was a covering letter which I wrote with my application that I handed in after being strongly advised by the councillors. So this was just a covering letter with the application. I basically said I'm handing you the application form under protest, and this was dated on the 27th of March, and you can see here it's got a stamp here saying 27th of March 2012. It's received by the council. So I'm just going to show you the housing application form now. This is it. This is the housing application, and this shows you the date here. On the top it says 27th of March 2012. It was signed and received, and I basically handed this in, and without any explanation, about a day or two later I received the housing application back without any explanation, without any covering letter. And I therefore contacted the council about this matter, and they basically just said, we have no idea why you've got it back, or why someone may have sent it back to you. So this is the way the council is working right now, and it's just causing absolute problems. Now, as you can see, this is a letter from the MP to the council, and basically the MP had just taken a look at my documents, where the council was making mistakes. The MP basically recognized what the mistakes were, and he explained to them that this is the mistakes that you're making. And they also basically, Edward also mentioned to them that we have been served with an eviction notice from the court, and Edward Davey explained to them that this is a mistake, and they should sort this out. And the council basically did not admit their mistake, and they basically took us to the court, had an eviction notice against us, and basically now they had to move us, and now the current house that we're living in is in a revolting state. It's got many problems, and I'm going to show you the problems in part 2 of this video. So stay tuned.